So just say welcome again, just really continuing this exploration of the mind, our individual minds, how we're relating to experience, how we're relating to our bodies, how we're relating to other beings in this world. This is our exploration here, and we come up every week when Nancy and I are teaching. We have a little bit different way of talking about it, but it's all really comes down to this, the mindfulness of being present with what's happening, and present and aware, but not being pushed around by it, and just finding a way to be with it, to be a little more at ease. Some techniques for helping us to do that. So we'll start, as we always do, with just a brief grounding meditation. So just take your meditation posture, whatever you feel it should look like today. Some position, sitting, standing, lying down, that allows you to feel supported, yet relaxed for these next 5 minutes or so. And we'll let the bell transition us. So again, the bell is the invitation, reminding us we're transitioning from this process of signing on, getting situated here in computer land, to actually being present in this mind and this body, fully present, not thinking about what's going to happen in the future, not thinking of everything it took to get here, but just noticing how it is right here, right now. And so we can just take a moment just to check in. How is it? How's the mind? The mood of the mind? Is it feeling scattered and still chasing after things, or is it calm, sleepy? Just however it is, noticing. And checking in with the body, same thing. Is it present? Can we feel the sensation in this body here? Or does it feel numb, like there's nothing there? Or is there agitation? Or is it just calm, relaxation? So it's this process of sensing, of perceiving how we are. That's how we know how we're relating to our experience. So part of our training is just checking in. How is it right now? And we don't try to push any of it away. We just acknowledge how it is. Maybe it's boring. Maybe it feels agitated. However it feels, it's like this. And then we can bring a little more intentionality to our posture. If the eyes aren't closed, we can invite them to close. Or if you don't want to have them closed, just have a soft gaze, so we're not looking around. Moving down into the awareness of the body, the sensation of the body being supported by the chair or the floor. So groundedness. And from that groundedness, we can invite an uprightness of the spine. So an elongation, just inviting elongation, any amount that allows the upper body to be more alert. It allows the mind to be more alert. So this grounding, this alertness, but not a stiffness. So there's a relaxation to it. So just being present in this body, the mind, knowing this body, inviting an awareness of these different sensations of grounding, of alertness, of relaxation. Can we be aware of any amount of each of these qualities of the body and of the mind? And then inviting the mind to just be aware of the body. Is there some place in the body where the mind can rest? If you have a place where you commonly can allow your attention to rest, maybe it's on the breath or on the feeling of the feet on the floor or the chair being supported. Can we just allow the attention to just rest there? And if you don't have a place that you routinely go to, choosing it as the object for your awareness, try the breath, awareness of the breath, noticing if we're breathing in, that we're breathing in. If we're breathing out, noticing we're breathing out. Nothing more than that. This is a simple process. It's not complicated. There's not a heaviness to the doing. It's just what's happening right now. How does it feel? The feet grounded on the floor like this. The body resting on the chairs like this. Or breathing in is like this. Breathing out is like this. Can we rest the attention somewhere in the body? And we can notice if the mind is willing to rest in the place we've chosen, or if it has other ideas. Maybe it wants to wander off in thinking, planning, remembering, going to sleep. And we can notice that too. The mind is doing this. And without judging any of that, we just say, no, we're going to practice just being here in the body, grounding in the body, the breath. So refocusing the attention, letting it rest in the body. Noticing if the mind is still paying attention or if it's doing something else. Just noting what that is. And noticing if any of this is a problem for the mind. Is it bored? Does it feel like restlessness? Does it want something else? Or is there maybe a sensation in the body that it's pushing away? It doesn't want, or a sound that we don't want to hear, a distraction of some kind. Or have we gone to sleep or checked out? We just notice what the mind's paying attention to, what it thinks it wants, and can we just be with this experience here? Inviting some curiosity about what's really happening right now. Where is that meditation object I chose? The body or the breath? What's happening here? And resting the attention there. How is the body right now? How is the mind? How are we relating to this experience right here, right now? So with curiosity and interest? Or is there a feeling of wanting something or not wanting, feeling of pushing away or dissociation. And none of this is right or wrong. We're just noticing what the mind's paying attention to and noticing how that feels in the body and the mind. Is it relaxing or is it stressful? Moment to moment, we can do this exploration. How is it right now? Can I be with this without holding on, without pushing away? Just this. Can this be okay? This right here, right now. And if not, why not? So checking in, how is the mind? How is the body? What's the attitude we're bringing to this experience right now? Can there be ease, even if there's some discomfort or feeling of lack? Can there be any amount of ease and an openness to whatever might happen next? In this moment, it's like this. In the next moment, it's like this. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface. Again, a little bit more. Maybe just reflecting on your experience during that meditation. What was the mood of the mind? How did it change? It probably wasn't one mood, right? It might have changed throughout. And how did what the mind was paying attention to, what it was experiencing, how did that change the mood of the mind and how we're relating to our experience? And just maybe letting that go, coming back to awareness of being here together. So that invitation to just notice how we're relating to experience. I decided to talk about this today because of my experience. So last night, for whatever reason, I don't know, there was a weather, front moving through. I don't know if it was the weather or if it was just a mood of the mind, but, I found like this weight. There was just like a heaviness to my mood, and I couldn't pinpoint it to, something that happened that set something off. It was just how it was. And it felt really heavy and really uncomfortable. And I could feel that part of me that I wanted it to go away. I just wanted to be okay, and it wouldn't go away, it just was. And, so it was just, this is where the practice has to come in, so I was aware that it was weighing me down. It was pulling me down. I could feel just the overall weight of it. My energy was flagging, and, I just wanted to crawl into bed and pull the covers over and go to sleep. And thought, well, it's still early, that you can't do that. So do we have a better way? Where's your practice, Jenny? Do you have a better way of coping with this? And it reminded me of a teaching from one of my teachers, Ajahn Amaro. He had a book called Mind is What Matters. And in that, he was talking about the attitude of the mind is what determines what our experience is. So even though there's a weight to how the mind felt last night, what was really the stressor was my resistance to that, right? So how I was relating to it, the attitude that I brought to my relationship to that heaviness, that was that was what was causing the problem. So when I let go of that, wanting it to be different, and just paid attention to, what really is happening now. Well, there's not a buoyancy, but it's not intolerable. Like, probably it was okay, and I could feel it wasn't as constantly heavy as I thought it was. It was shifting a little bit, but when I didn't like it, it just felt like it was just going on forever and ever and going down into a depression, So by paying attention to the attitude of the mind and not getting caught up into the not wanting it to be like this, wanting it to be a different way, or wanting to check out from all this, that allowed me to be a little more at ease. And then the mind could clear enough to say, like, what might be helpful to do. And so I wound up going out for a walk. It's like, okay, we feel heavy. Let's get some movement in here to get a little bit of energy. And it was a slow walk, but it allowed me to choose something that was non-stressful, and that would get my energy up just enough to be, not feel quite so heavy, And we can't always do the antidote to it. Maybe sometimes you just have to sit with, yeah, it feels like heaviness, but it's not intolerable. I don't need to make it any different. And can we not make it worse by wanting it to go away, by having that pushing it away is what actually is the problem. So attitude of the mind is what matters in what our experience is. So our mindfulness practice, the various ways that Nancy and I talk about it, it really comes down to this thing of being aware of what the mind is paying attention to, and being aware of how we're relating to it. And it's this how we're relating to it, that's what really makes the difference. So we can monitor this, and we don't, judge it, or, want our way of, if we don't think we're relating to it skillfully, well, if we judge that too, then we're just adding to it even more. So, so trying to just work with it in that way, that can be our practice. So it's an exploration. And if we really find that it's intolerable, then some of the practices that we talk about are ways of introducing something else. If the mind keeps wanting to go to a place that's difficult or heavy, some of the tools that Nancy and I talk about are ways of introducing something else. So like, if for me there was a heaviness, and once I let go of the resistance to it, then I could say, what might be helpful? Oh, movement might be helpful. So rather than feeling weighed down, I could maybe move through it, or maybe that wouldn't work. Maybe inviting space, or knowing I need to distract and watch something on TV, a cat video or something. I don't know, So not always choosing the escape mechanism, sometimes just being with, but when the being with is difficult, is there a way that we can be with it in a way that doesn't add more weight to the situation? So that was my exploration last night. So you guys are getting to hear about that, but I'm sure you all have something different, and whether it's body pain that's persistently coming back as a problem, or as we age, inability to do the things we want to do, or whether it's an irritating friend or relative, or a noise outside. There's always something, or wanting something. Oh, if only I could go someplace different, if only I could have this wanting or not wanting, and the mind latching onto that, and then adding to the stress of the experience, and just watching when that happens, and then learning to just let go of that added layer that we put to it, and just experiencing it. And if we just let go, a lot of times it will just move on its own, or we at least won't add to it. So that's the training that I've received and found beneficial, and that's what we talk about all the time. So maybe we could try this a little bit here and see what happens. So, and I see Stephen has raised his hand. Stephen, I'll take questions maybe at the end of this session, if that's okay. So the invitation is to monitor the, what are we paying attention to? What's the attitude, how we're relating to it, and seeing what the effect is, the effect of our attitude, how that's changing the actual experience that we're having. That's something that we'll invite in this exploration here. So we can take our meditation posture again, reestablishing that groundedness, that sense of being supported. This will be a little bit longer sit, so we really want to feel supported in a way that we won't need to move around much for the next 15 minutes or so. And feeling the groundedness, the uprightness, the relaxation, closing the eyes if that works, and letting the bell transition us. So again, the bell fades, and with that fading is the letting go of all the talking, the theorizing, the introduction, there's all those words, and just coming into this direct experience. What is this mind and this body experiencing right now? The overall mood of the mind, is it still caught in what was being talked about before? Or was it bored and it's going to sleep? So it's just the general energy. Is it moving outwards? Is it sinking? Or is it just calmly waiting to see what's happening? So the mind is like this. The body, how's the body? Overall energy. Is there any sources of tension that we can just notice and not latch onto, just be aware of? So just noticing it's like this. And then letting that go and setting the attention to just be present with our meditation object of choice, either the body or the breath, or if you have a phrase you use, just choosing to be with that meditation object. And if nothing else, being with your breath. And maintaining your awareness of that. And again, inevitably the mind's going to wander off, and just noticing how we're relating to the experience, whether we're present with the meditation object. You can notice if we're really present, or if we're resisting it, or if it's boring. We're wanting something else. Or if we notice something we don't like, a thought or sensation that comes up, can we just be with it and allow it to move rather than resisting? So that's our intention, just to do an exploration, curiosity, investigation. So resting the mind on your meditation object, the body, with the breath, being with moment to moment. What's happening right here, moment to moment in this body? And if the mind wanders away from the meditation object, just noticing what it's paying attention to, how it affects the energy of the mind, whether there's ease or tension, and then resetting the intention to be with the meditation object, moment to moment. Checking in to see if the mind is still with the meditation object and interested, or if it's resisting it or bored. Maybe there's some thoughts or a sensation that's come up. Just noticing how the mind's relating to it. Is it wanting something more? Wanting to get rid of something? Or just checking out and going numb? Just noticing how the mind's relating. And we don't judge any of that. We just notice what the habit of the mind is. And its effect on the mind and the body. And then come back, resetting the intention to be with our meditation object, the body or the breath. Just being with, nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to be. Just be curious about what's happening right here, right now. Just paying attention, moment to moment, the body, the breath. It's like this. And how am I relating to that? What is the mind paying attention to? How is it relating to what it's experiencing? It's the attitude of the mind. If there's some resistance or some wanting, can we just invite a letting be, letting go? We just be with this, whatever it is. And see how that affects whether we experience it with ease or with stress. Staying present with our meditation object or whatever we're experiencing, moment to moment. Interest, relaxation, not needing it to be different. What is the mind paying attention to? How is it relating to it? Is it wanting, not wanting, numbing out? Just noticing how we're relating to experience. And if we can, just going back to the meditation object, being with that. But if there's something that's really persistent, maybe there's a sensation that keeps coming back or a thought that just won't go away, that is a constant stressor, is there something we can do? Or maybe we're getting sleepy, maybe we're bored, so we can invite more energy by breathing in a little bit deeper, a deeper inhalation, a shorter exhalation if we need to wake up a little bit. Or if we're feeling anxious, we can do the opposite. We can have a longer exhalation if there's some agitation. This invites the body to calm, which invites the mind to calm. So inviting the mind to just let go, but if it won't let go, then is there something, some simple thing that can be used to balance out the mind and the body, either through changing the breath or changing what our meditation object is. So exploring that possibility, but otherwise just being with whatever comes up. So we'll go back to practicing the silence, being with the meditation object, noticing a moment to moment what the mind's paying attention to and how it's relating. Can this be okay? Noticing what the mind is paying attention to, how it's relating. Is there ease or stress or numbness? Just noticing the habits of the mind, what we pay attention to and what the effect is on the mind and the body. And we do this over and over again in meditation to learn to understand the habits of the mind better and what leads to ease and what leads to stress, so that we can take this out into the outside world and apply this in our lives. The more we know about the mind, the more we can just be at ease with it. Oh, it's just the mind doing this. Can this be okay? This is our practice. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface. And as always, just reflecting a little bit on what your experience was, the various experiences during that meditation, what you might have learned. Maybe if you tried a different technique, what was helpful or not, especially what was not. And then letting that go and coming back to being aware of just being here together. So this practice, again, we practice this, the attitude, awareness of attitude during meditation as a way of training the mind to pay attention to how we're relating to experience, how it changes our experience. And of course, the real benefit in doing this isn't just during meditation to give ourselves a better meditation, but it's so we can take this into our daily lives and notice, how am I relating to this experience right here, right now, this person or this situation, whatever. How am I relating to it? And is there something I'm adding to it that's causing more stress? And can I just let go of that? Can I just be with it? So you can ask yourself those questions throughout the day. Am I wanting something more from this? Am I wanting to get rid of something, or am I zoning out from this experience because I just don't want to deal with it? Just noticing how we're showing up for experience and how those different ways of relating affect how alive we feel in the world, how connected. And we don't have to make ourselves do anything. We just become more aware and then naturally choose a different way of being eventually over time once we see it enough. So that's been my experience. And as always, just keep playing with this yourself, just how is it right now? Moment to moment, and see what you learn. And so I wish you success with that. So it's a good way to spend time, if nothing else, educational. So thanks for being here. This ends the formal teaching.